So in this project recipe 14, there is a little technique that you use with folding that creates a really cool border for your layout. But I don't want you to be like, when we get to that part, like, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to teach that little technique at the beginning so that you can fly through the rest of the project recipe. And I think that will help you. So let me switch my camera. So this is project recipe number 14. And remember, if you do not have the book, I will walk you through every step. So do not stress. So you will actually be needing 2 sheets of designer paper for your base. I keep going back and forth between 1 piece of cardstock and 1 designer paper or 2 designer papers. So I really think it's going to be a game time decision when I get there. I have both of them right here, so I'm going to kind of make that decision in a minute. But the technique that I'm talking, oh, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so excited about doing this. So, and then you're going to need 3 pieces of designer paper that you're going to cut. So a total of 5 sheets of paper and cardstock combined. So let's talk about all these cool little folding things that are right here. It gives a little optical illusion there. So it is basically just a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. So here is my 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch square. And the first thing you're going to do is very gently, you're just going to fold it in half. And I was taught by my art teacher friend when I was a music teacher in the public schools, you line up corner to corner. And then I am not doing doing a hard seal, like a hard press. I'm just going to press it in the middle because all I need is the middle. And then I'm going to fold it the other way in half. And just line up corner to corner and then press it in the middle. Now that will give me, you can see it really well here. So I know where the center is, and that's what I want to know so that I can fold my corners in. Now this is where you also get a choice. You get to decide which way you want it. Do you want it where the blue comes in? Or do you want it where the blue is mostly shown and the brown comes in? So you get to decide that. And you could do it different on either paper on the left side and the right side. That's up to you. That's your creative choice. But it makes it real easy because then you're just going to take this and you're going to put some adhesive and then you're going to line it up into the center and put that point on that center dot. And then you're going to do a little bit of adhesive there. And then if you don't do a hard, like crisp press down, you can't see any of your little cheat sheet of lines. So it makes it nice and easy. But this is that little technique that you're going to use a lot of in here. That's why we're cutting out so many, we're cutting out 11 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares in this. So it's a lot of cutting, but, and then we're going to line these up side by side. It's going to be really cool, but this is the little technique. So let's get started. The first cut is nice and easy. You will also need a punch. I am doing Christmas because I am so close to finishing my 2022 Christmas album. And I'm going to a retreat and I do not want to take Christmas with me. So I am trying to do 2 things at one time. I'm trying to pack for my retreat and finish an album before I go. I mean, big goals, y'all, big goals. I may be a little bit of Looney Tune, but that's okay. But the first cut is nice and easy. So you're going to do 8.5 straight down. So I'm trying to get this. If I can get this layout done, it'll be great. I'm just going to be so excited. Oh, I just changed my mat here and switched it around so it feels brand new. It's like cutting like butter again. Oh, I love it. It's the little things when you're crafting that makes you feel so good, or makes me feel so good. And then this you're going to save for your punches. Then this leaves a 3.5 inch by 12 inch for the right side border. So that's all done. Then we're going to get our designer paper number 2. And this is mine. And it's directional on the one side for these little mats. So I wanted to pay attention to that. So I'm going to start doing some 2.5 inch squares straight down. It almost feels like it's not cutting. I forgot how good it feels to have a crisp new little mat there. It's amazing. And you're going to cut 4 of these. So 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. 2, 3, 4. And then this is extra. This is kind of discard. And then we're going to have a 1/2 inch by 9.5. So we're going to just cut a 1/2 inch, and I have to go the other way. So I'm going to cut from the other angle. And I'm just going to cut it straight down. Then we're going to do we're going to do 4 of these. So 1/2 inch. And then another one. And one final one. And then we're going to do 3 inches straight down. We'll come back to those and cut those down in just a second. I just want to get this part done. This is extra. Save it. It's a great piece to add to another layout. And you're going to go turn it and go 4 inches. And then another 4 inches. And this one's going to be reverse. Oh, and then this is extra. So now these all have to be 9.5. So I'm going to cut them all at one time. So I'm going to line them up. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, totally all right. Just cut them individually. They got out of my hands. I'll line up right at 9.5. And they're all even at the other end. So I made sure I didn't let one get loose. Cutting at 9.5. Now we're going to cut designer paper 3. We're going to cut some 2.5 inch squares. I always line up my paper the direction I want to cut it. I really think it through. I have to tell you, picking the paper for this layout, I think I spent the most time I've ever spent trying to figure it out for 2 reasons. One reason is I'm to the tail end of this collection, and just 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch squares, just keep going on them. And so that made it hard. And then lining up these little flipped papers, I had to like both sides of the paper, and I needed them to kind of go together. Like, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie. I was stressing. I think I spent 2 days trying to figure out the paper. This is extra or discard. And then we're gonna cut another strip of 2.5. So don't beat yourself up if you're struggling trying to find the right paper for this layout. I was saving this layout to do something different, not Christmas, but then I was like, you know what? I have the best pictures for this layout that would work best with this kind of layout from Christmas. So I was like, you know what? Why am I trying to fight it? Just embrace it and go for it. So that's what I did. And then one more. So you have 7 squares. This is extra. This is a good little mat for journaling. You could add white piece of cardstock in there. It'd be great. Then we're going to have 4 by 6. So that's 4 inches, and you're going to turn it and go at 6 inches. And then this is extra if you want to cut some punch shapes and stuff in it. So You are done with your cutting. So let's look at all this. We're going to go ahead and make all the little squares here in a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, so these are going to go on this paper. No, these are going to go on this one. So I'm thinking, I have to see. I'm thinking I'd do this. No, I want this. And then I want this. Yes. Okay. So I have them right. Okay. So now we go ahead and fold them. And this will take some time. I'll speed up the video, so don't worry. Okay. We got them all done. And I did really pay attention to the direction of my stripes on all of my paper and the argyle. So that's why if you're watching the video, I'm kind of like turning it around just to make sure that they line up nicely on the layout. So let's get my 2 base papers down. So I think I'm going to do the beige cardstock just because there's a lot of pattern. I do have this ready to go as well. But I'm just not sure it's what I want. I think it might be too much, but let's go bold, right? Go big or go home, right? And then this goes over here. And then these are all going to go around. When I do have these like layered pieces where they kind of overlap, I like to have one side on the top and the other side on the bottom. I just think it looks like a weaving technique. I think it looks cool. And then, but you could do whatever you want. And these are going to go here. I'll have to center all this. And then Then we have these over here. This is going to go here. This is here. This is there. This is to cut the punches. And then we line this up. Oops, I need to start with the other one. Sorry. Else I'd run out. But this is kind of a cool technique. And it does, you will have to cut a little bit off it, like turn your paper over and cut a little bit of that off at the end. So just kind of center it all on there. And then this is what I'm going to cut my holly out of. And I need, so 1, 2, 3, 4 on here. Then 5, 6 it's showing. So let's see. I can easily get 6. And when you're trying to cut and space these so that you're maximizing your paper, the best thing to do is kind of flip it over. This is a hard punch because it doesn't show everything that you're trying to cut. So do the best you can. Let me get my, this. I can easily fit all these. I think I cut one that was already in there. Make sure they're all out. And then for holly, I always like to use my single hole punch for it. And here I have this leftover red, so it's perfect. And this is the perfect paper for this because it's 2 tones of red, so I'm going to be able to get lots of more realistic colors in there, so that's going to be fun. I've also used the Firecracker Shimmer when I want to do the holly berries because it gives that little glisten to it. I'll just cut a few more just to make sure I have plenty and don't lose any. There we go. So I have all of them in here. And this is where I'll take my, and you can use the glue, or you can use your, I tend to use this more so because I like to just cake it on there. Then I take my favorite tool, my lifter stick, and I just take this and put it on there. There's static clinging here. But see how it has the 2 tones of berries? I think that looks cool. And then those will go on there. So we have, I will finish that up. But this is basically the layout, and I will show you the finished layout. Because this one took a little bit more time to do all that folding, I won't keep the video running while I adhere everything. But you do have lots of room for photos. Because you'll see my finished layout with my actual photos on it this time. So Love this layout. It's not as scary when you break it down, but I think it's going to turn out really, really cute. So my finished layout will be on the next slide, and I hope you guys have a great day. Happy scrapping. I hope I get all my layouts done so I can go to my retreat and start something new and no more Christmas. Have a great day. Happy scrapping. Dun, da, da, da. This is the final layout. As you will notice, I did change some things from where I was working on it. Normally, I will say beige and navy are my go-to cardstocks that never fail me. Well, I decided that these are like fun pictures of them with their, their favorite presents from Christmas and just playing around Christmas morning. And I just wanted it a lot brighter and fun. So I ended up going with the striped paper as the background. I know it's busy, but that's why I didn't do a lot of embellishing. I just kind of tried to tone it down a little bit with the pictures. I did take out this as well, and I put another picture there just to make it more fun. And but I did, I added the holly punches, and I have my journaling spot here, but I think I could add another embellishment, and I'm trying to decide if I want to add it like golf or roller skates or something, toys or something. Like I was thinking like a toy sack or something. So I'm still thinking about that because it does need something right here. But I have room to journal, and I'm real pleased with how it turned out. But this is the Joy to the World collection. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but it's always in my description of my videos, what collections and tools I use. So, but this is the final layout. So I hope you enjoyed it.